The next possibility that you could vote for is the status quo. And that honestly is anywhere from Hillary Clinton to Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio he's proven himself to be a game player. And I'm not saying anything bad about Marco, it's just the old style politics. This doesn't work, and we all know that. He said one thing, I'm with you, I'm standing with the Tea Party people, and then he went and he did the Gang of Eight. That's not right. And then he started pointing the finger at Ted Cruz, accusing Ted Cruz of doing what he had done. And at the very end, he's admitted, yes, well, that's what I did. It doesn't make any sense. But we don't have an interested media, and we don't have an engaged society. And so he can get away with liar, 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 to where the most honest man I know in Washington, there's two of them that I would give my children to. I mean, not if there was something going on, I'd just like to give him children. If there was something happening in my life, Mike Lee and Ted Cruz, without a thought. Without a thought, he does not compromise on his principles. Why? Because his father escaped being shot in a gulag in Cuba. He was on his way to a death march. He was on his way to a firing squad. And he escaped. He came to America. He found God. He found the truth of capitalism, not this crony capitalism that we've been doing. What we've been doing is grotesque. It's corrupt. And if you think a guy who owes the banks as much money as Donald Trump isn't owned by the banks, you're out of your minds. If you think he's going to be pushing for real reform with as much money as his business is owed to the banks, you're crazy. And it's crony capitalism. And Ted's father knew what real capitalism was supposed to be. Moral sentiments, the invisible hand of the market will reach out and choke you unless you're a good, decent people. And so what's happened to us? Ted Cruz was raised, and on his kitchen table was the Bible and the Constitution every day. By 13, he had memorized the Constitution and was going state by state, telling everybody about the Constitution, teaching it to kids. He has that fire in his bones. So, we have socialism as an option. We have the status quo as an option. Both of those lead to revolution. Then you have Donald Trump. Donald Trump is dangerous. He is a dangerous, dangerous man. My older kids were talking to me today, and they came to the house and said, Dad, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know. My daughter has my grandchild, about to have a second grandchild, and she said, Dad, I don't understand people. And I said, honey, I don't either. I really don't either. But I will tell you this, nobody listened to me. 1999, I'm on the air on WABC in New York City. And the conservatives beat me up on the air because they thought, they didn't really know who I was. It was my first on-air deal for talk radio. And I'm following Sean Hannity, I'm filling in, and they don't know who I am. And I said, we had just bombed the aspirin factory, and Bill Clinton had done it. And I said, wait a minute, I've spent all day reading the words of the guy he was going after, and you need to understand, he was right. Well, then it became about politics and party. And I said, wait a minute, the principles here matter. He was right on that. Well, they didn't hear me, and at the end of the hour, I was so frustrated, I said, New York, you listen up. If you don't read this man's words, and if you don't stand against this man now, within the next decade, there will be blood and bodies and buildings in the streets of New York City, and it will have the signature Osama bin Laden on it. Nobody listened in 1999. In 2004, I started talking about the housing collapse. I started talking about a banking collapse, and nobody would listen. I was losing stations, I was losing audience. Nobody wanted to hear it. They told me that I was trying just to talk down the Republicans so they wouldn't win. And I said, no, I'm trying to save people's lives and our country. Please pay attention to this. Nobody would listen. In 2010, you all remember, I was on Fox. God forbid you believed in the caliphate. The caliphate was the craziest thing ever. Oh, that's Glenn Beck, that's just Looney Tunes. Well, it's amazing for a group of people who couldn't even spell it, and I should know something about not being able to spell things, couldn't even spell it, to now, of course, everybody could see the caliphate coming. I'm telling you now, please hear me. Last call, America. This is our last call. Donald Trump is a dangerous man. Please. Grab everyone you know. I left the house today and I looked my 2 older children in the eye and I said, I'm coming for you if you haven't voted. I'm coming for you. Go out and vote and bring everyone you know to vote. This is our last chance.